Tonight on Wareham Viking News at 5, an array of local events in the town of Wareham, including the annual Tech of Fashion Show, Wareham Garden Club's plant and yard sale, and onset-based chili contest. People 12 and over can now receive walk-in COVID vaccines at South Coast clinics. The Dartmouth Mall announces a new edition. Well, what is it? Find out everything about this and more coming up at 5 o'clock.
Live from the WCTV studios in Wareham, this is Wareham Viking News.
Wareham Viking News at 5 starts right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to Wareham Viking News. Thank you for being with us today on our live news show. I'm your host, Emma Arcaro, and remember to join us Wednesdays at 5 p.m., Thursdays at 9 a.m., or on YouTube later tonight for our live news broadcasts. Thank you for devoting your time to us this evening, and with that, let's get right into this week's news. After the Boys and Girls Club promptly closed on April 30th, the leaders of our community have been looking for replacements for the multitude of programs previously offered by the club. With the club's closure comes the question of the fate of the Hammond School property, which previously stood as a building hub for the club's activities. A selectmen's meeting was held on May 11th to discuss long-term replacements for the programs offered and hosted by the Boys and Girls Club to still provide the community with the much-utilized services. Some of the leaders of the community showed up at the meeting to offer suggestions, including Shayla Tavares of the Boys and Girls Club, Joanne Gamble of Community Youth Empowerment, Jared Chadwick of the Wareham Tigers, and Pastor Dave Ferrari of the Bridge Church. They had multiple suggestions, including establishing an LLC called Hammond Community Youth and Education Center that would operate out of Bridge Church. The LLC would be a nonprofit that, although would be managed by the church, would have a separate mission similar to the Boys and Girls Club. After-school programs held by the Boys and Girls Club are now being held at the Bridge Church of Onset, where they will be hosted until the end of the school year in about 6 weeks. These programs are being held by Shayla Tavares, who is acting as club administrator until the Boys and Girls Club's closure at the end of the year is finalized. In local high school news, Wareham DECA recently hosted their second annual Wareham High School Fashion Show last Thursday. The show was held in the Wareham High School parking lot as to follow health and safety guidelines amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Students of the fashion marketing class showed off their skills as local students posed as models and walked a makeshift catwalk in front of the high school's main doors. They modeled clothes in categories including formal wear, seasons, sports, streetwear, business casual, indie boho, trendy, and many others. The fashion marketing students didn't complete this large event alone, but also collaborated with the students of the project management class and the art department, according to DECA advisor Lisa Cunha. The Wareham DECA program has more scheduled, including an upcoming tailgate dinner and auction outside of Wareham High School on Sunday, May 23rd at 1:30 p.m. Well, we got some great news on Monday about COVID in Massachusetts, and we have a great report from Indiana Troop to tell you all about it. Indiana?
On Monday, the governor released an update on many of the COVID guidelines we saw in place in Massachusetts for the past year or so, which means no more of these in public indoor or outdoor venues. But does it really?
364 days ago, this team stood here and laid out how Massachusetts was going to reopen the economy one step at a time.
After just over a year, an end to the COVID-19 pandemic seems to be in sight. At a press conference, Governor Baker announced that all COVID-19 restrictions and capacity limits will be lifted in Massachusetts on May 29th. Also, on May 29th, the Massachusetts face covering order will be lifted and replaced with the CDC's latest guidance for mask wearing. So, what does this mean? It means that people that are unvaccinated will be urged to follow an order from the Department of Public Health asking them to continue to wear a face covering in most indoor settings. They will issue a separate public health order asking both vaccinated and unvaccinated people to continue to wear face coverings in places such as healthcare facilities, nursing homes, public transportation, and in schools. Also in the press conference, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito announced that effective tomorrow, May 18th, the youth and amateur sports guidance will be updated to no longer require face coverings for youth athletes under 18 while playing outdoor sports, and that all restrictions on youth and amateur sports would be lifted on May 29th. Superintendent of Wareham Schools, Dr. Kimberly Shaverhood, said in a statement to Wareham Viking News, "Thankfully, with everyone in the school community working together, we're at a turning point in our reopening process. We will continue to work with all members of our school community as restrictions are lifted, as providing the safest environment possible is our priority." Outside of the schools, however, large businesses such as Walmart have already stated that they will allow vaccinated customers to shop maskless, and places like WaterWiz have also expressed that the new guidelines are great news for the summer on their Facebook page. We will continue to update you with new information about the COVID-19 pandemic here on Wareham Viking News, but for now, it looks like we have quite a bit to take in because we finally reached a new normal.
Now, the CDC and Massachusetts Department of Public Health are actively monitoring the COVID situation and making sure all residents are as safe as possible. But now the call is to get vaccinated. That's the best way to protect yourself from the virus. Previously, it was masks, social distancing, and now the call to action is to get vaccinated. So make sure to do that as soon as possible to be protected from the COVID-19 crisis. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you very much, Indy, for that amazing report. Remember, even if you're vaccinated, to be smart. In other COVID news, anyone 12 and over is eligible to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine at South Coast Health Clinics. The health organization recently announced that walk-ins are welcome for those over 12. A consent form from a parent is still needed by minors, either filled in at the clinic or a signed copy downloaded from the mass.gov website. COVID-19 Pfizer vaccines will be available at Multi-Service Center at 48 Marion Road on May 17th, 3 to 7 p.m. The Moderna Johnson & Johnson vaccines will also be available without an appointment. Moderna is being distributed at the same Multi-Service Center on May 18th and May 25th from 3 to 7. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be administered at the Mobile Wellness Vehicle at Onset Pier on May 18th from 3 to 7. Anyone looking for more information can refer to the South Coast website at southcoast.org/COVID-19 vaccine. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break right now, but don't go anywhere. Next up, we have our amazing weather and sports reports from our very own weatherman, Alex Burdick, and Laura Clemens to get you informed of this week's updates. All this and more after the break.
People in Massachusetts are asking what they can do to help stop the spread of the virus. Our response? Answer the call.
Hello? Thanks for calling. I've been worried.
Thanks. Now I know what to do.
Through what's called contact tracing, the MA COVID team will be reaching out to everyone who's tested positive for coronavirus or who has been exposed. Look out for area codes 833 or 857 and answer the call to keep your community safe. Visit mass.gov/MA Tracing Team.
Hello and welcome back to Wareham Viking News. I'm your host, Emma Arcaro, thanking you for joining us this evening. We have a few lovely reports that we're just itching to get to, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Wareham High School students, are you interested in a future career in journalism, such as TV, news reporter, or a newspaper writer? Are you wanting to learn more about the news, video production, video editing, sound, lighting, camera work, and more? Are you always finding yourself wanting to be the one to answer questions? Or do you always like to know what's going on around town? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you should consider joining the Wareham Viking News team. Whether you're interested in script writing, lighting, sound, newspaper writing, anchoring, video reporting, teleprompting, directing, producing, sports broadcasting, or even meteorology, we have opportunities for you at Wareham Viking News. And whether you have no experience or lots of experience, you're just as valuable to our team. We teach all of our members the inner workings and the groupings of our techniques. So this experience working with Wareham Viking News has led students to getting internships, scholarships, and jobs in the industry. No matter what your plans are, this experience will be valuable to you, we promise. Any students who are in grade 8 through 12 and attend Wareham High School are allowed to join so long as you're in good academic standing. If you are interested in joining, reach out to AV Club President Indiana Troop at itroop2023@wareham.k12.ma.us or AV Club Advisor Mr. Fernandez at wctvadmin@wareham.k12.ma.us. All right, next up we have our very own Alex Burdick with this week's weather report. Alex, tell us, how's the weather looking this week?
Thank you, Emma. This past week sure has felt like spring. Let's talk about yesterday first. It was mostly sunny with a high of 80 and a low of 56. There were winds of 12 miles per hour during the day. Today is partly cloudy with a high of 76 with a low of 49. We also have 7 mile per hour winds and 30% humidity during the day. Tomorrow looks like it will be mostly sunny with a high of 74 and a low of 49. There will be winds up to 10 miles per hour during the day. Let's look at the rest of the 7-day forecast now. The day after tomorrow, Friday, looks like it will be partly cloudy with a high of 70 and a low of 53. There will be winds of 12 miles per hour and humidity of 51% during the day. And Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 72 and a low of 58. There will be winds of 11 miles per hour during the day and humidity of 62%. On Sunday, we have a 40% chance of rain, where we will see some nighttime showers that start late in the day and end during the night. There will be a high of 80 and a low of 54 with winds of 10 miles per hour and 61% humidity during the day. Monday will be partly cloudy with a high of 66 and a low of 50, and we will see winds at 14 miles per hour and humidity at 46%. Tuesday will be partly cloudy with a high of 72 and a low of 59. The humidity will be at 55% and winds at 18 miles per hour during the day. Finally, Wednesday will be a partly cloudy day, and there will be a high of 78 and a low of 55 with the humidity at 50% and winds at 14 miles per hour. The week following looks like it will have temps in the high 60s to low 70s, and a mix of mostly partly cloudy days and some cloudy days. Their traffic will likely be the same with rush hour traffic on Cranberry Highway and going into and from the Cape. And your trivia question for the week is, what city is nicknamed the Motor City? Is it A, Providence, B, Boston, C, Detroit, or is it D, Salt Lake City?
Detroit. Boston.
The correct answer is Detroit. I'm Alexander Bird, and this is your Wareham Viking News Weather Report. Back to you, Emma.
Thank you very much, Alex. Now we're going to head to Wareham to Viking Awards for this month with Mr. Palladino.
We're here for the Viking Awards. Our first recipient for the month of April is Cayenne Anderson for citizenship, and we have a second certificate for citizenship as well. For scholarship, Amanda Annandale, class of 2025. For scholarship, Julianne Benitez Gaudet, class of 2025. For scholarship, Julianne Bolduc, class of 2024. For scholarship, Madison Booton, class of 2021. For scholarship, Dylan Connell, class of 2025. For citizenship, Colin Corey, class of 2023. For citizenship, Chloe Hogan, class of 2022. For craftsmanship, Ala Kalini, class of 2023. For scholarship, Emerson Kearns, class of 2024. And she also has one for citizenship. For scholarship, Alexander Lambert, class of 2021. For citizenship, Miranda Solomon, class of 2025. For citizenship, Julie Phillips, class of 2025. For citizenship, Kaylee Sylvia, class of 2024. For scholarship, Emma Sylvia, class of 2025. For scholarship, Kaylee Sylvia, class of 2024. For scholarship, Addison Travis, class of 2025. And our student of the month for April 2021 is Ala Kalini. And our Scotty Award goes to Chloe Hogan. Congratulations to all the recipients on April's Viking Awards. Thank you. What's that?
All right, it's now time for us to take another short break, but you'll want to be here when we come back. We have so much more to share. Also, if you're a Wareham High School student, you're watching a shortened version of our broadcast. That's okay. You can watch the full version of our show at Wareham TV on YouTube. You can also read about news going on in Wareham and our school by going to www.warehamvikingnews.com. And for everyone else watching, we have tons more news right after the break.
Congratulations, graduates.
Good evening and welcome back to Wareham Viking News. I'm your host tonight, Emma Arcaro, keeping you up to date on all this week's local stories. Let's get right into it. The Onset Bay Association recently hosted its annual chili cooking contest on Saturday, May 8th. After being forced to postpone the cook-off last year from its original date in March 2020, the Onset Bay Association brought everyone together this year at Stone Malt Path. 6 chefs competed, entering their own version of the dish, including Kathy Longfield, Chris and Mark Thompson, Onset Bay Association volunteer Lynn Sullivan, Kat Garfoli, Bob Costello, Dan Minkle of the Minkle Boys Catering. Bob Costello won Best Overall Dish with his Craisin Chili, while Kathy Longfield earned Best Vegetarian Chili. Chris and Mark Thompson won the prize for Best Presentation. The Wareham Land Trust and edible plant educator and grower Russ Cohen are hosting a free day of planting. This event will occur on Saturday, May 15th at the Mass Aubuchon's Great Neck Wildlife Sanctuary from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Russ Cohen, who has written a book on growing wild edibles by the title of Wild Plants I Have Known and Eaten, and will be sharing his knowledge on the subject. The event is free to attend as funded by the Wareham Cultural Council. Throughout the Mass Cultural Council, those interested can register at warehamlandtrust.org. Anyone with questions can contact the Land Trust Engagement at warehamlandtrust.org or by calling 508-295-0211. Well, if you're looking for something fun to do while at the library, this will probably help you learn a bit about the world of STEM and amazing opportunities here. The library has announced that they have created 5 STEM kits available for use by families, children, and young adults. Not only do the kits offer exciting and engaging projects and activities for kids to participate in, but they also include reading materials related to the projects. The 5 STEM kits available for checkout include anti-gravity kit, an astronomy kit, a dinosaur kit, a human body kit, and a weather kit. Each of the kits have very fun and interactive projects with them, such as a fossil kit, a squishy human body model, a magnetic levitation kit, and much more. The kits were funded from a federal fund called the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act. The Institute Museum of Library Services and the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners were the organizations who administered the grant funds. If you want to check the kits out for use, you can do so at the library. Kits can be checked out for a 2-week period with no extensions, and you cannot check out the same kit more than once a month. Kits also must be returned to the circulation desk rather than the book return drop. The grant received for the kits will also go to help fund and expand more online materials and materials for the outdoor story walks. For more information, you can go to www.warehamfreelibrary.com or go to their page on Facebook at Wareham Free Library. The local planning board hosted an in-depth meeting on May 10th as they discussed 8 solar field projects. The applicants all requested approval of the preliminary subdivision plans that would host the solar projects if the citizens' petition article is passed. The citizens' petition article is set to be voted on at the town meeting on June 12th and would only allow new solar fields to be between 3 and 10 acres in size, on land that has been cleared for at least 10 years. When a subdivision plan has been approved, the applicant has 7 months to file a definitive plan and then is protected for 8 years from zoning changes. Although town planner Ken Buckland said that they're already protected by the bylaw change because they submitted to the town through registered mail before the date of the meeting, an approved preliminary plan would add another layer of protection. The board voted unanimously to postpone further discussion of preliminary plans until after a discussion with the town council, as many members showed discomfort in jamming many projects into one meeting, as the planning board member Mike King stated. The Wareham Garden Club recently hosted their annual Spring into Bloom plant and yard sale on Saturday, May 15th. The event went well, according to the Garden Club's president, Barbara Van Ingwen, who expressed their enthusiasm for this year's event after canceling last year due to the pandemic. It occurred at the Methodist Meeting House at 495 Main Street, where you could shop for cookbooks, vegetables, herbs, crafts, and more while having the opportunity to learn about more different plant species. According to the Garden Club member Mary Zeno, the Garden Club uses its proceeds raised by the event to support its scholarship fund and promote the local civic beautification, as well as other programs. The club members worked hard to make sure the event was enjoyable for everyone in attendance, like selling a bag with treats for every cookbook seller, decorating the tables with beautiful and colorful plants. Ingwen noted that the event saw a fabulous turnout and commented that it was great to see people and the weather could not have been better. Alright, we have to take our last commercial break of the night, but don't go away just yet. Next up, we have some exciting information about how you can join the Wareham Viking news team. All this and more coming up after the break.
runner there, Michael Bush. The pitch home. Fastball swung on and missed, and the Gatemen win their 8th title and won for the first time since 2012. The Wareham Gatemen are kings of the Cape Cod Baseball League. A strikeout for Zach Hart, and the Gatemen win it.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back, everyone, to Wareham Viking News. I'm your host, Emma Arcaro, and we're almost done for the night. But before that, we just have a few more stories to get to. So without any further delay, let's get right into it. Even though a wave of struggle has hit brick and mortar during the recent years, the Dartmouth Mall has announced a new store addition to their building after losing stores like Sears, Forever 21, and Justice. The Dartmouth Mall will soon be adding a Windsor, a store that sells women's clothing, shoes, and accessories, while the closest Windsor stores are in Warwick Mall and Providence Place in Rhode Island, or the Braintree Plaza. A new one will take place in the center court area of the Dartmouth Mall. The new addition is a surprise, coming after the Office Max closure in Dartmouth on May 15th. Our last segment of the night is sports with Isabella, so let's go right over to her.
Thank you. It's Isabella with your Wareham Viking News Sports Report. What? There's nothing. Miss Fernandez.
Oh, sorry.
The Wareham High School boys and girls spring track teams competed this afternoon. A reminder that currently for all upcoming track meets, masks must be worn at all times by spectators. The unified track and field team will face Apponequet and Old Rochester tomorrow at 3:30. The meet will be at Apponequet Regional High School. Boys tennis will play Seekonk tomorrow in Seekonk at 3:30. The girls tennis team will play Seekonk tomorrow at Wareham at 3:30. The Wareham High School baseball team will play Dighton Rehoboth tomorrow at home at 3:45. Huh? Right now. Okay, back to Emma.
Great job, everyone, but it's time for us to go. To keep up on all current Wareham news throughout the week, visit www.warehamvikingnews.com and like us on Facebook at Wareham Viking News. Make sure to continue to tune in Wednesday evenings for our live broadcasts at 5 p.m., on Thursdays for our rebroadcasts at 9 a.m., or on YouTube later tonight right here on WCTV for your best source of news, sports, weather, traffic, and more. Thank you for being with us, and until next time, Wareham, goodbye and stay safe.